Course orchestra. On EYSM it's designed to include everybody on the course, be it saxophone, flugelhorn, fiddle, all the symphonic instruments.
Those combined forces of over 100 players, he will get within a week to play something that is really staggering. And you would imagine that they spent months and months, just 6 days.
My favourite main ensemble has got to be the main course orchestra. It's the biggest orchestra in the course. It includes absolutely everyone, and it was so much fun to have so many people enjoying such a great experience together.
When I choose music, I don't choose music because it's a junior orchestral arrangement and they'll play every note perfectly. I choose music that is good music. It must be interesting, it must be moving. It's got the depth of the music, the quality of it, and the sheer emotional power of it. You can't help but be moved. So that's where the choice comes down.
Andy often picks something really unusual. They love it. I remember Short Ride in a Fast Machine was one of those that I think everyone looked at it and thought, how on earth are we going to play this? It's so hard. And yet, by the end of the week, it was great.
There's also the chance in the string orchestras and the chamber orchestras to play some more difficult and more subtle repertoire that you can really dig into. That's been really great as well. Playing Sibelius' Fifth Symphony, the final movement, I think is not something that you'd ever have expected to play in a school orchestra.
Music is not sent out mainly because we don't know whether they're going to be principals, seconds or thirds in that particular. We've got a course orchestra of maybe 100 players. We've got a smaller symphony orchestra. We've got a wind orchestra. You're going to be in different positions. Orchestras.
You try and make sure that everyone plays to their strengths. So if I've got 3 or 4 students that can play first parts, they'll play first bassoon in one of those ensembles.
The idea is that on the course you're given an opportunity to, within a week, start from scratch and at the end of the week produce a result that you never thought was possible.
Frankly, on the first one, I didn't even think I'd be able to play any of the pieces at the end. And by the end of it, I was able to play it just as well as anybody else there.
Playing in large orchestra ensembles such as the ones at EYSM was something I'd always dreamed of, and I leapt to the opportunity, forming incredible pieces with amazing people. These memories still inspire me to this day.
John Greaves's rehearsals with the wind orchestra have the most extraordinary atmosphere that I've honestly never come across in any youth orchestra situation.
John Greaves is a master at improving everyone's playing. The wind band at the beginning of the week and the end of the week are 2 completely different ensembles, and I think his approach is something special.
The level of awe and respect that they have for him and for the music is really extraordinary, even when they're just warming up on long notes and scales, and it sets the tone for the whole day.
The wind orchestra in particular has very interesting repertoire that often comes from America, and it's often featured around different events like Columbine and places like Thames Journey.
If the music doesn't have soul and emotion, conductor, I think there's very little chance that the orchestra can then play with soul and emotion. It's got to be something the conductor believes wholeheartedly in and can feel the emotion of the piece.
John Greaves has a wonderful way of explaining everything that's happening in the music and making sure he's taking his inspiration and spirit of what he's thinking all the way through with them, and you can see on the faces that that's happening.
Being able to experience a symphony orchestra, a chorus choir, a gospel choir, a big band, those kind of things, and be thrown right into the middle of it and use all of their musical education along with incredible tutoring and support to be able to get to that end result at the end of the week is just something that's so difficult to describe in words.